from the preceding, it appears that those things which are commanded by the divine law have rectitude, not only because they are laid down by law, but also according to nature. For from the precepts of the divine law, the mind of man is ordered under God, and all other things that are in man under reason. Now this natural order requires that the lower should be subject to the higher. Those things, then, which are commanded by the divine law, are naturally right in themselves. In addition, men, by divine providence, are allotted the natural judgment of reason as the principle of their own operations. But natural principles are directed to those things which naturally exist. There are, therefore, certain operations which naturally suit man, which are right in themselves, and not merely laid down as if by law. In addition of those whose nature is determined, there must be determined operations which correspond to that nature, for the proper operation of each one follows his own nature. Now it is agreed that the nature of men is determined. It is necessary, therefore, that there should be certain activities suitable to man. Still, to whomsoever anything is natural, that without which it cannot be had must be natural, for nature is not lacking in necessities. Now it is natural for man to be a social animal, which is shown from this, because one man alone is not sufficient for all that is necessary for human life. Those, therefore, without which human society cannot be maintained, are naturally suited to man. And they are of this kind, that every man preserve what is his own, and abstain from wrongs. There are, therefore, certain things in human actions which are naturally right. Further, it has been shown above that man naturally has this, that he uses inferior things for the necessities of his life. Now there is a certain measure determined according to which the use of the aforesaid things is suitable for human life. And if this measure is omitted, it becomes harmful to man, as is seen in the disordered consumption of food. There are therefore some acts of man which are naturally appropriate, and some which are naturally inappropriate. Again, according to the natural order, the body of man is for the sake of the soul, and the lower powers of the soul for reason. Just as in other things, matter is for the sake of form, and the instruments for the principal agent. But from that which is directed to something else, help must come to it, but not any hindrance. It is therefore naturally right that the body should be thus procured by man, and also the lower powers of the soul, that by this act of reason and his good will not be in the least hindered, but rather aided. But if it were otherwise, it would naturally be a sin. Violences, then, and engagements, and the disordered use of affections, by which the act of reason is hindered, and subject to passions, which do not permit the free judgment of reason, are naturally evil. In addition to each one naturally, those things which he aims at his natural end are agreeable to. But those things which are contrary to him are naturally inconvenient to him. Now it has been shown above that man is naturally directed to God as to the end. Those things, therefore, by which a man is led into the knowledge and love of God are naturally right. But those which have the contrary are naturally evil to man. It is clear, therefore, that good and evil in human actions are not only according to the position of the law, but according to the natural order. Hence it is said in the Psalm that the Lord's judgments are true, justified in themselves. By these things, however, the position of those who say that they are just and right is ruled out only by the law.